And the 109 G-14 will start off with the flap control wheel. Rolling it aft will extend the flaps, and outside it has marks, and every mark is worth 10 degrees. Then we can roll it forward and begin retracting the flaps. And then looking next to that is another wheel. That's going to be your horizontal stabilizer trim. And then you've got your tailplane incidence indicator as well, which will tell you how much you're moving that. Up the top is your tail wheel lock. Pulling it back is unlocked and forward is locked. The gauge under that is your MW50 injection pressure when you're using the emergency power, so it's important to pay attention to that gauge. There's our throttle. Underneath that you've got the propeller pitch control between automatic and manual. Then on the throttle itself you've got the control for the propeller pitch. Moving a little bit forward you can see the mechanical landing gear position indicator. On the lower left you've got your landing gear position indicator and then the controls for your landing gear. On the main panel you've got your magnetos on the left, ammunition counters for your machine guns and cannons on the top, the repeater compass, altimeter, artificial horizon with the turn and bank indicator, your airspeed indicator, clock, manifold pressure, the tachometer, propeller pitch indicator, your water temperature, your low fuel light, fuel gauge, and a split fuel and oil pressure gauge. Down on the lower right of the panel, you've got a radio frequency channel selector, and underneath that, that's your water radiator control. Up to the top is automatic, pointing downwards is manual, then you can open and close it accordingly. Everything in blue is related to your oxygen equipment. Then above that we can control the navigation lights and then your instrument lights. So now we'll start the 109. Close the canopy first, so bring that over. Then we can press E and watch the automated startup sequence. And while that's going on, we'll bring up the pilot's notes for the 109 G-14. Now that the engine's started, we're going to prepare the 109 for taxi. We'll start off by extending the flaps to 20 degrees. So we roll that control wheel aft. When we look out on the wing, we can verify it's at 20 degrees by seeing two black bars. We're going to need to make a turn, so we need to unlock the tail wheel. Then we ensure the tail plane is set to +1 and our propeller pitch is on manual. Then we can open up the water radiator if we want as well. We can open that up all the way if we want, and then we'll be ready to taxi. To prepare for takeoff from the 109 G-14, you're going to ensure the tail wheel is locked, flaps are set to 20 degrees, your horizontal stabilizer trim is set to +1 and your propeller pitch is automatic, along with your water radiators also being automatic. And you're going to apply power smoothly and begin the takeoff roll, and you'll rotate at 170 km per hour and begin retracting the flaps by about 200. Then you can accelerate to 270 km per hour and begin your climb up to your cruise altitude. So now we're approaching, we're going to lock the tail wheel, and you're going to roll forward a few feet. This helps ensure the tail wheel is locked before we take off. It should be locked by now. We can apply the brakes and come to a stop. We can verify our takeoff items. So our flaps are set to 20 degrees. Tail wheel is locked. Horizontal stabilizer trim is set to about +1. Propeller pitch is automatic. And the water radiators are automatic. So now we're ready to go. We can start applying power and begin the takeoff roll. You're going to need some right rudder to keep it straight on the runway. Leaning to the right will verify takeoff power. You can continue accelerating and start pushing forward on the stick to bring the tail up. And once we reach 170 km/h, a little back pressure on the stick and we rotate. With our positive rate of climb, we can bring the landing gear up. We accelerate to 200 km/h, we can start retracting the flaps. The flaps should then be retracted by the limit of 250 km/h. Then you can continue accelerating, climbing at 1.2 atmospheres at 270 km/h. And you can do that up until your cruise altitude. As always, we're going to stay in the pattern, so we'll look at how to land in the 109 G-14. On downwind, your airspeed will need to be below 300 km/h, and that's the point you can extend the landing gear. Ensure your tail wheel is also locked, and your horizontal stabilizer trim will be between -4 to 5. Propeller pitch, you can use manual at the 12 o'clock position, or the automatic position is fine as well. You'll be slowing down, so by the end of downwind, you'll be at 220 km/h, and you can begin extending the flaps to full, and then you begin your base to final turn with an airspeed of about 200 km/h. So we're on downwind, below 300 km/h, we can extend the landing gear, and we'll also ensure that our stabilizer trim is set between -4 and 5. You're going to keep propeller pitch in automatic. And slowing down further, we're below 250. So as we're reaching the end of downwind, we'll be about 220, we can begin extending the flaps all the way out. And as we approach a beam now touchdown point, we're going to begin a turn towards the runway. This will give us our final approach speed of about 200 km/h. To make this a nice gentle turn all the way through, this way we can maintain sight of the runway as long as possible. We're going to be maintaining our approach speed by adjusting our pitch and power accordingly. We'll keep it coming in. So your aiming point is just around the beginning of the runway and we're flying right towards it, so this is all looking pretty good. So a short final approaching the runway. Start raising the nose a little bit, getting into the round out, getting off the extra speed, bring it up to 3-point position, cutting the power, and touch down. Get on full back pressure and begin applying brakes and help the airplane come to a stop nice and fast. Then you can taxi off the runway. That completes the video on the 109 G-14. If you liked it, let me know by using a comment or the like button. And don't forget to be a subscriber using that bell icon, and this way you can see new videos as they're released.